A very good morning to you, watching the Channel M Breakfast Show on Thursday, the 29th of January. I'm Nikki Dean.
And I'm Byron Evans.
And we've got some breaking entertainment news for you this morning, starting with yours.
Yeah, got a couple of stories for you to cast your mind over. Mainly, David Bowie has dismissed rumours that his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, will be making a return to the stage. David put him to rest in 1973, or those, 73 on stage, and decided that was it. But there have been plenty of blog sites suggesting that he's going to make a bit of a comeback, but Bowie has poo-pooed him and said, no, it isn't going to happen.
What a shame. We'll see, though. There's no smoke without fire. It's probably all a big publicity stunt, isn't it? Who knows? Some great news this morning if you're a Daniel Craig fan. The Tintin movie is due to be released. Starring in the lead role is the Billy Elliot star Jamie Bell. Yes. He's going to be Tintin. Great casting. But Daniel Craig, as I mentioned, he's going to be the baddie Red Rackman.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is going to play Captain Haddock as well. Also appearing in the film will be some great British actors, Simon Pegg and Mackenzie Crook. So that should be an interest. Directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings, obviously, and King Kong. And there could be 2 or 3 in the offing.
Blimmin' heck, there's a team and a half for you. More bad news for Jacko, unfortunately. Looks like he could be sued by the filmmaker John Landis, who co-wrote and directed his 1983 video thriller. Things go from bad to worse for that poor chap, don't they?
It coincides with a couple of producers who are wanting to take the video onto the stage to turn it into a West End musical, but the original director has actually kind of, put the kibosh on those plans. We'll finish off with news from Mickey Rourke. Now, he featured and starred in the award-winning The Wrestler. It's picked up plaudits left, right and centre, but he was asked to appear in the ring for the new WWE. Now, lots of celebrities over the years have appeared with the big burly wrestlers, got a bit sweaty in their leotards, but Mickey Rourke has decided to say, no, I'm not doing it.
Boring.
What would your wrestling name be?
Well, it's got to be Nikki the Nightmare, and have some sort of fancy makeup on, obscuring my face. What about you, Evans?
I think the Beast. Right, in a few minutes, we've got all the latest sport. Plus, at Coronation Street, Sophie Webster, actress Brooke Vincent tells us what it's like to be Rosie's kid sister. But first, here's news with James Webster. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Good morning. First up this Thursday, Manchester looks like it's on the brink of losing its reputation for high levels of gun crime. Police have been cracking down on gangs, and figures show between last Valentine's Day and December the 31st, only 3 shots were fired in the city. There were 10 times more the year before. Louise Casey advises the government on crime.
I don't think that the police are the custodians of everything that comes to solving something like gang crime. I start with kids that are allowed to wander around the streets late at night who aren't caught up in a gang yet, but will be unless their parents take some responsibility for where they are at night.
The Home Secretary will be in Manchester later to hear how the city's been cutting gun crime. Jackie Smith will meet members of Greater Manchester Police to see how they've been ridding the streets of armed gangs through Operation Cougar. She'll also give a speech about ID cards to business leaders and politicians. A teenager who murdered a dad of 3 from Bolton hours after putting a message on Facebook saying he felt like killing someone will be sentenced later. Leon Ramsden, who's also from Bolton, stabbed Paul Gilligan to death in the Pepper Alley bar last July. The 19-year-old is due back at Minshall Street Crown Court. Official advice telling parents not to let children under 15 drink any alcohol will be published later. Up till now, there's been debate about whether youngsters could have small amounts with meals or when out socially. But the country's chief medical officer will say that having an alcohol-free childhood is the best option to safeguard health. Between 15 and 17, he'll say any drinking should be with the guidance of a parent or carer. A teenager's in hospital with serious injuries after getting hit by a car in Wigan. The 19-year-old woman was walking down Harrogate Street in Ince with a man the same age when they were struck by the vehicle at around 6:30 last night. He wasn't badly hurt. The road had to be shut, though, for around 5 hours for investigations. Now, remember yesterday when I told you that naming a cow means it'll produce more milk? Apparently it's because ones called things like Buttercup or Daisy get better treatment. Well, our reporter Ben Bland went to put the idea to the test at a farm in Tilsley.
Let me introduce you to a few friends. There's Lily, Gwen and Tina Turner. No, don't worry, I haven't finally lost it. It's now been shown that if you give a cow a name, it will give you an extra 500 pints of milk every year. Isn't that right, Tina? Here at Shackley Hall Farm, a cow like Tina can produce about 12,000 pints of milk each year. At this farm, each cow in the herd is named after its mother. Take Lily the 26th, for example. If you look at the records from 1968, you can see that her great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was Lily the 4th. But does naming a cow really make a difference?
As far as, you know, milk yield and everything like that, I think probably it's the care and attention and how you treat them when they're being milked and how you look after them as much as the name. It's like all ladies, isn't it? They like a bit of care and attention.
The researchers at Newcastle University asked 516 dairy farmers how they look after their cows. 46% said they give each cow a name. Data showed that each year those named cows produce up to 500 pints of milk more than their unnamed relatives. 48% of farmers said positive human contact makes cows more productive. In other words, if you're a farmer, start communicating with your cattle. Well, most of the herd have names here, but this little one is only 2 days old and hasn't been named yet. So if you've got any ideas for a good name, why not let us know and we'll pass them on to the farm. Ben Bland, Channel M News.
That's all from me for this morning. I'll be back with the Channel M lunchtime news at 12 noon, and Andy Crane will round up all the day's main headlines for you from 5. Now, though, talking through the morning sport, here's Byron and Mike.
OK, it's a day of ultimatum from Eastlands as, well, Sparky may be losing a little bit of patience over his bid to get Rocky Santa Cruz to the Blues home. What do you think?
What do I think? I think the deal looks like it's going to be for £20 million. I believe Rocky Santa Cruz is about to sign, but I've also been told he could be on his way to White Hart Lane this morning to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. And I do think Allardyce would probably prefer it he went to Spurs. They've come in with a late bid. It looks like it's going to hijack Mark Hughes, and what's been a pretty unfortunate and unhappy past couple of months for him could get even bleaker this morning if Rocky does go down to London.
But why would Rocky want to go to Tottenham at the moment? Looking at with the standings within the Premiership, City have got the money, they've got the backing, and after last night's performance, they've got the placing.
He may not have an opinion. He may not have a say-so in the matter. If the club don't want to sell him to City, they don't have to. If the club want to sell him to Spurs, then they will. And the player in this game could just be a pawn. So it could be some Allardyce biting back at City. We'll see what happens. But it's one of the better rumours this morning. We mentioned Shay Given earlier, going to sign for City for £8 million. The Sun this morning have it at 8.5, so we're not far off. That's going to go through today. And a few weeks ago, we spoke about Antonio Valencia going to Real Madrid. And a lot of people poo-pooed that idea. The Daily Telegraph are running it today as an exclusive, so I don't think how they can claim that as an exclusive. We had it 3 weeks ago. QPR have launched a £2 million bid for City's Michael Johnson, and Stockport County's chief exec Mark Maguire has come out and said the rumours about the club going into administration are false. The money from the sale of Anthony Pilkington, who was sold last week, has eased their financial worries. But certainly, I like the Antonio Valencia story because we had that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Good news for County as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
We want them to stay afloat.
We want to stay up. We want Jim Gannon to stay with them as well.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that'll ease the pain on him.
OK, so that's, let's talk about the bright lights of Vegas, shall we? And Ricky Hatton's fight with Manny Pacquiao for the bout to be probably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world is all on.
Absolutely. Signed, sealed and delivered. We'll be hearing from Ricky Hatton later on in the news at 5 o'clock. The press conference in Hyde today. There's Ricky just returning from his defeat against Floyd Mayweather. 46 wins, 1 defeat against Pacquiao. 48 wins, 3 defeats and 2 draws. The best pound-for-pound fighter in the world will emerge from that ring. The loser, well, I think the loser will hang his head in shame and walk away into the sunset with probably £8 million. So it's not a bad golden goodbye, is it?
Do you think Mr. Hatton's probably got more to lose out of this match than Manny Pacquiao?
I think he has indeed. I mean, because still the Americans aren't convinced by him as a fighter at all. They love him going over there. They love the Brit crowd. As a fighter, he's not in anybody's top 5 over there. I hope he proves them wrong, but it will be tougher than the Mayweather fight. OK, Mystic Mike, yesterday we put you under the scrutiny of trying to make your predictions of last night's Premiership fixtures. Home win for City, draw for Bolton, and you said Wigan would dish out a thrashing to Liverpool. I did. That was more wishful thinking. If you're just waking up and buttering your toast with Marmite this morning, here's the scores. Blackburn 2, Bolton 2. Bolton raced into an early lead. Blackburn equalised with 3 minutes to go. City 2, Newcastle 1. We had the highlights earlier. Wigan drew with Liverpool. Benayoun with an absolutely superb goal in the first half. Mido on his debut for Wigan, 83 minutes with a penalty, and I'll have highlights from that game in the news at 12 o'clock.
OK, do you want to have a quick look at the top 5 placing in the Premiership?
A quick look, and now things are beginning to shape up to the business end of the season. United remaining 2 points clear with the luxury of a game in hand. Chelsea, Liverpool and Villa all hot on their heels. Arsenal dropping quicker than one of Byron's stones he chucks into the water to watch the little puddles go all away. Arsenal now 5th, 8 points behind United. I don't think they're going to win it. Aston Villa are now the major force in football. They're the 4th team.
Yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Bradley, and more sport from Mike on tomorrow's breakfast show. Soap Watch now with Coronation Street's Sophie Webster. Actress Brooke Vincent popped into the studio a little bit earlier for a chat with Michelle and Nikki.
It's the lovely Brooke Vincent, a.k.a. Sophie Webster, and, of course, our Soap Watch queen, Michelle.
I know. Do you know, I'm very excited to have you on the sofa because... Hadn't you been a tinker, Sophie? We thought you were pregnant last week. What was that all about?
So did everyone else. Everyone kept stopping, are you pregnant? No, I'm not. Why? No, it's been great, you know, because she's never really had a bit of thing for herself. You know, she's always been part of other people's storylines. And it's just nice to get your own thing and someone talking about Sophie for once and not Rosa, you know.
Absolutely. Just to explain to anyone who missed it, shame on you if you missed it. But, yes, Sophie was found with a pregnancy test. Your mum and dad, Kev and Sal, they thought it was Rosie's. Obviously you would, because she's a bit of a one. But it was yours. Then we thought you were pregnant, but it was all for attention, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all a lie.
Poor Sophie. I must say, I love your character. She gets some great one-liners. She's funny, isn't she? Is it good fun to play her?
Yeah, I do like playing her, actually, you know. She's one of them people that you can't really judge. She can be happy one day, then sad the other, and she'll be full in, like, frowns, and she'll be cracking jokes, you know. It's good, there's, like, a nice combination going.
Because you've been in the soap for quite a long time now. You've literally grown up in the soap. What's that been like for you?
Do you know, I didn't really notice until, I think it was about 3-4 months ago, someone turned around to me and went, I've seen you grow up, and it's like, you have, you know. I was 11 when I started, and, like, I'm 16 now. It's like 5, like, big years, you know, and it just goes so quick.
Do you get a lot of attention when you're out and about?
Sometimes. It depends where you go and what you're doing, really. Like, if you go to, like, say if you go into Manchester, you'll get, like, the people walking past and going, oh, there's a girl coming.
Nudging, going, it's Sophie!
Yeah, you know, oh, no, I get, it's Rosie's sister.
Oh,
That's
dear!
But it's good, though. It's not bad, though. But, like, I was on holiday, and this lad, like, turned around and he goes, you know that fit bird out carrying his mate? Oh, yeah. He goes, yeah, that's his sister. I was like...
You're fit too.
Hello, I'm Brooke, you know. But it doesn't bother me because I like the fact that I can take that step back as well. You know, I like the fact that I'm not the main Webster girl, you know. It's nice. I think half the stuff that Helen's, like, had to put up with through the storylines and, like, doing the storylines, I don't think I could have.